My first projects, I wrote a lot of very bad theater, and then I moved to America, moved to Los Angeles, and I wrote a lot of very bad screenplays, which no one wanted, of course, because they were very bad. And then I was lucky enough to start writing in cartoons, like Scooby-Doo and things like this. I was like 23 years old. And I worked with this man, Michael Moore, who was a lovely, lovely man, lovely writer. The two of us wrote together. And it was great. I did that for about a year. I was working as a furniture mover. I was already married. I had a child by then that I had to support. And I earned a very good living as a very bad writer for many years. And finally, I guess I was in my 30s, and I submitted a script for a drama show called 30-something that was just starting, and they liked it. And so I went to work on this drama. And I remember I wrote my very first script for them. And it was two wonderful writer-producers who were running the show. And they came to me. It was Marshall Herskovitz and Ed Zwick. And they came to me and said, "Oh, this is a really good script, Paul. What's it about?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, where does it come from within you? What do you want to discuss? What issues are you trying to resolve?" I said, "I'm supposed to do that?" Wow. And so I had no idea what writing was. I had no idea. And that made me start thinking differently. And I started to look at my life and things I couldn't resolve in my life and start to write and put those ideas into my screenplays. And that was the first time that I started actually being a writer. It took me a long time to become a good writer. I don't know if I still am, but I struggle with it every day. I got to a position in television where I was writing and producing my own work, and so I hired myself and to direct. And remember, the network said, "Can you direct?" I went, "Oh yes, don't worry," because I had no idea what I was doing. But I did, and I was very nervous at first, but then I just relaxed and decided to just tell the story. It's very hard to find a subject for a film. I struggle with that all the time. Especially if it's something I want to write and direct, because that's going to take several years of my life. And so I have to ask, is this question interesting enough for me to spend 3, 4, 5 years exploring it? I don't know, always. But I look for questions that I cannot answer, things that trouble me. And then I find a genre to put it inside. I'm not always successful with that, but that's what I try to do. I think when you're trying to deal with a question, sometimes questions are too big to put into one story, and they need to be explored from several angles. That was the way with Crash. Crash is a very simple story told from 7 or 8 perspectives. And a third person was the same, but it was about love, and it was about the creative process. And I just felt I couldn't explore them with just 2 or 3 people. I needed multiple stories to try to investigate all the angles I wanted to investigate. In this case, I was dealing with issues of love and what the hell that is. I knew when I was writing this that America and most of the world would hate this movie. I knew that because now we like our stories very simple. We like all the answers, and we like the answers told to us 3 or 4 times. And there's nothing wrong with those stories. I love them too. But that's only one kind of storytelling. So I said, no, I want to do the kind of film where you have to walk out of the cinema and stand on the street with your friends and argue about what it's about. Film is an emotional medium. It's not an intellectual medium. We hide our ideas inside of drama and emotion. And then you have to figure out what it's about. And so I do the same journey you do. I go, why did I do that? Why did she say this? Why that? And it's a puzzle for me as well. And I go, oh, if I do this or add this. So yeah, it's a journey of exploration for me as well. So if you come to me now looking for answers, you're not going to get them. But the answers are there. It's not a very, it's a puzzle, but it's not a Rubik's Cube. It's a very simple puzzle. But but why this is happening and what it means to you is the most important thing to me. I don't like to think of the actors while I'm actually writing, because then you start to think of what they've done before. And that's difficult, because if you do that, then you'll write for what they've done before, and you want an actor to surprise you, to bring something new. So when I finished, I thought of Liam, of course, and I'd loved Olivia. I liked working with actors many times, and I'd worked with Olivia twice before, and I thought, I've never seen her do anything like this. She'd surprise me, because it's so different than her character. And that's, I think, the great thing about not thinking about the actors while you're writing, because then you can get actors to do things that they haven't ever explored before, rather than just saying, oh yes, that actor can do that, they've done it before, I'll put them in the movie. It's sort of boring. We like to, it was like Mila Kunis was the same when she was in that. It's like, wow, look what she has. That's that depth and that anger and that frailty. It's lovely. So that's how I like to. No, TV cannot save cinema, because TV is TV. Cinema is cinema. But it certainly is a great way of telling stories. There are subjects that are good for television, and there are subjects that are good for movies. And whenever I get an idea, I ask myself which is better. Directing any movie, you shoot 3-4 pages a day of screenplay. That's fast. This mini-series, I was shooting 7, 8, 9 pages a day. It's crazy. You have to shoot so fast, and yet you still have to bring a style to it, and you have to bring an honesty to the performances, and you can't compromise. It's not easy. So it's largely that. It's just how quickly you make decisions, how quickly you move, and yet still finding a way to give it its own style. That's it. Move faster. Yes. Was it Terry who convinced me to come to Montoni? Absolutely it was. Yes, of course. Terry's been telling me about Montoni forever. And I love Umbria. And I love Terry. So, and he is one of our great filmmakers. He is a legend, but he's also, he's again fiercely independent. He does exactly what he wants to do, and I so admire him. And so I would do anything that he asked me to do. So yes, I'm very thrilled to come to them here and to share the table with Terry and all of you, and to be part of this festival. It's wonderful.